Hiya. It has been quite a while since I made a video. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't really have a good reason, I just kind of got distracted. I meant to make a video for the kind of first anniversary of going on testosterone, and that just kind of passed me by because I was a bit distracted with a friend's show I was doing, and then after I got away from that, I kind of felt a bit bad that I'd missed it, and then it kind of built up and built up. I'm sure quite a lot of you will understand that cycle of not doing a thing and then feeling bad about doing it, and the feeling bad about doing it kind of makes you anxious about just doing it. So I'm now at something like 1 year and 7 months on testosterone. I've kind of stopped counting as diligently as I used to. Kind of up to the sort of 1 year point, I was basically counting it really closely, but I've mostly just sort of left it to do its thing now. I think the kind of anxiety about it being kind of yanked out from under my feet is kind of gone now, so I'm kind of vaguely keeping track of the months, but I'm no longer kind of tracking it by like weeks and days anymore. So yeah, it hit 1 year right at the end of July going into August last year. And yeah, I feel really good about that. Actually, looking back 1 year before that, I feel like the actual structure of my face has changed a little bit. Not loads, but just subtly. My voice is a fair bit deeper than it used to be, but I think it still has further to go. Kind of judging by the sort of vocal range of the other men in my family, I mean, right now I'm kind of slap bang right in the middle of the kind of tenor range, and I think I'm looking at probably dropping into upper baritone kind of by the time the whole process is done. Yeah, so that's pretty good. It's nice to see some changes. A lot of the time I don't notice them happening at the time. I kind of feel like nothing's happening for several months, and then kind of go, oh, I notice something, oh, how long's that been there? Yeah, so I've noticed a few kind of, I can't really call them beard hairs because I don't have a beard, but they are like coarser facial hairs. I've got maybe like 5 or 6 of them that kind of crop up in various bits of my face. They're kind of useless at the moment because there's so few of them, but it's nice to know that they're there. And when I'm getting my hair cut now, I kind of get my sort of peach fuzz buzzed off my face, and that kind of feels, that actually kind of helps, because the kind of fuzziness on the face was kind of feminising. So as well as kind of giving me that nice sort of shaving ritual, like I do a wet shave at home, and when I'm at the barber's I get foils. That's like a nice ritual to have anyway. It's very affirming, but also it kind of smooths out the silhouette of my jaw, which is, it's like a really subtle thing, but when I'm like in the few days after I've done that, I get misgendered a bit less, which is really cool. I'm getting correctly gendered like a bit more, which is cool, because I used to get misgendered basically 100% of the time. Now it's like 90% of the time. No, I think I'm maybe being a bit down on myself there actually. Like I get correctly gendered a surprising amount now. Still not enough, but it's getting there. It still kind of wrecks my day when someone gets it wrong, because it just suddenly makes me so hyper conscious of everything that's not yet right. But I can try and take some solace through that kind of horrible dysphoric feeling that I'm on the right path. The GIC has still been really obstructive. They didn't like when I was moved from Testagel to Sustanon in May last year. I mean, they didn't like me being on testosterone at all, but they kind of, their letters seemed to get angrier once I started with the Sustanon injections. But I got on all right with them. I'd never had to inject myself with anything before, and I was kind of pleased that I adapted to it quite quickly. It's not too bad. But I've recently been finally granted an NHS prescription by an endocrinologist, which is Oh, such a relief, seriously. That's a huge weight off my shoulders that I don't have to resort to private care anymore, because it was costing me a lot of money that I couldn't really afford. But it was keeping me afloat, basically. They helped me when no one else would. So I'm very grateful to them for doing that. But I'm glad that I don't need to do that anymore. So the endocrinologist has started me on Nebido, which is the kind of longer term injection, which goes in the glute rather than the thigh muscle. So that's that was some kind of fun, slightly embarrassing, but yeah, it was fine. The nurse that administered it was great. She was really nice. I'm not the only patient at my new GP surgery that gets it, so it's good kind of being in a place where like they are treating me like an adult and not being really hands off and kind of not knowing what to do with me, which is what I kind of felt like my old GP was like. So I think it's been a positive experience. Well, I was sad that I had to switch GPs because I kind of didn't want to have to. It's been ultimately a really good move because my new doctor's really good and the nurses are good as well. So yeah, so that's been really positive. So I got my first Nebido injection on Tuesday. Only today has my butt stopped hurting. Like, the actual injection itself was fine. I was kind of like, oh, like, don't know why people were saying that was going to be sore, or I don't know what the fuss is about. It's fine. Pretty much the same as the Sustanon injections. And then pretty much immediately had a really, really sore right butt cheek, where it kind of felt a little bit weird to walk, and sitting on the bus was fun. Not fun, I mean it very sarcastically. It was really painful. And even kind of lying on my back in bed was not great for a few days. But it's fine now, so that's me for 6 weeks. And then I get another one. I mean, it's normally every 3 months, but the first 2 are within 6 weeks of each other to kind of build you up a reserve, basically, of the hormone. So, because apparently if you did it every 3 months, it would take ages to actually build up to the proper levels. So yeah, in a little under 6 weeks' time, I'll be going back for another one of those. And yeah, it feels really good to just have that in place now, and I don't have to worry about it, and I just now can kind of focus on my weight loss journey, which I'm still on. I'm doing okay. I'm not losing weight as fast as I would like, but I have lost 12 kilos so far. That's in the past year. Most of it in the last 6 months. And it's not loads. I definitely could be losing more, but it is a more consistent and steady amount than I have lost in the last 5 years. So I think a kind of small but sustainable loss, I think, is way preferable to the kind of off and on kind of trying too hard and breaking myself and then putting it back on again kind of cycle that I was stuck in. It's definitely better than that, and I feel like I'm really making progress. That was kind of, I think it's been mostly between going on Orlistat, which kind of interferes with your fat absorption. That and some intermittent fasting has been a really good combination for me, because it's also sort of curbed my kind of binge eating problems and my eating at weird hours and stuff like that. It's given me a bit more structure and accountability, and I think that's been really good for me. It's like just the right amount of accountability. It's been a bit crap recently because the last week I've been in pretty much total social isolation because of all the COVID-19 stuff, and that's had an impact on what I'm eating. I'm not eating as well as I was because I'm kind of relying on more kind of dry goods and canned stuff and things like that, because I'm kind of finding it harder to get decent fresh things, which is not great, and I hope it's over soon. But I'm at least getting by and I'm not in danger. In terms of risk groups, I'm technically in one of the vulnerable groups, but I'm not super high risk or anything, so I'm one of the fortunate ones. And also just being able to actually be in the house most of the time by myself and it not be, and like not, yeah, I don't have to actually go out that much, so I'm in a good position there. I worry, I'm still worrying a lot, mostly about other people that I care about who are much more vulnerable than me, and people who I don't know who are suffering a lot because of this. And I'm doing what small things I can, but I am unfortunately just one person. So kind of a large proportion of the best I can do is try to support the people I can in ways that I can, and trying to keep myself out of risky situations. I've been very fortunate that a lot of the things that I would normally go out in the world to do are things that I'm able to do remotely. Like I'm able to do my role-playing games over Discord and things. Some of them were already remote. I've been joining in with one of the local Jewish communities recently because I'm thinking of converting to liberal Judaism, and that's been really positive. Being in that community, I've felt a sense of belonging and peace that I haven't had in a very long time. But then this has come along, and isolation has kind of made it hard to attend physical services. But thankfully, my particular shul has been putting on remote services and remote events and things, so I'm not as disconnected as, like for example, the people in the Orthodox community who can't do that, do a conference call on Shabbat and things like that. So, I mean, my heart goes out to them, but I'm very, very glad that I'm able to still connect remotely with the community. That's been really good. Overall, I mean, things are really kind of scary just now, but I'm in, personally, like a pretty good place. I've got a lot to be grateful about there. I plan on doing a bit better with the updating videos. I might not do a transition update for a while because this was like quite a big one that covered a lot of ground, but I'm going to be doing some poetry readings because that was a thing he's enjoyed when I would do a little poem for you now and again, so I will do that. I've had some requests for specific ones, so I'll be reading those, and I hope you enjoy them. Thanks for watching.